Hello everyone, welcome to Yin and Restorative Yoga with some gentle movement. My name is Michelle Chua, and for this practice you'll want to have quite a few different props such as 2 yoga blocks, a strap, a pillow or bolster, and a blanket or a beach towel. And let's begin in any comfortable way for you to sit. If you find that if you're choosing to sit cross-legged, if your knees are lifting uncomfortably away from the floor, take any of your props to elevate your pelvis on and sit towards the front edge of the prop so that you can slightly tilt your pelvic bowl forward and then lightly engage your lower belly and lift it up so that you can feel the spine lengthen and encourage the breath to flow more easily. So take a moment to arrive, look around your space, shift around your body, and feel the surface below it supporting you. So when I was driving to one of the yoga classes I was teaching today, I was behind a car with a bumper sticker that just made me laugh. And it said, "What if the hokey pokey really is what it's all about?" And it was so funny because I was just seeing different signs and billboards and things like that were all in synchronicity of what I had planned to share at the beginning of the practice, which I'm sharing with you today. I've shared this quote before, and it's by Marshall Rosenberg, who wrote the book and developed the method Nonviolent Communication. And he says, don't do anything that isn't play. And he explains, when we are conscious of the life-enriching purpose behind an action we take, when the soul energy that motivates us is simply to make life wonderful for others and ourselves, then even hard work has an element of play in it. Correspondingly, an otherwise joyful activity performed out of obligation, duty, fear, guilt, or shame will lose its joy and eventually engender resistance. So the very first limb of the 8 limbs of yoga has 5 various ethics or practices to encourage harmony in living with the world around us. And the very first practice is ahimsa. You might remember that it means nonviolence. Well, I love how Marshall Rosenberg defines nonviolence as life enriching. And so this attitude of play that we can cultivate by just reframing our perspective about the things that we might see as tasks, things that we have to do or should do, rather ask ourselves, why are we doing them? Because ultimately we're choosing to do them. And even goes on to an exercise here where he asks you to list a bunch of the daily things that you have to do, your duties or obligations, and then come back into translating that should do or must do into I choose to. And remember what your life enriching purpose is, even if it's an indirect route. How is it some way enriching yours or others' lives? And I love this perspective in practicing ahimsa, because it's easy to think of nonviolence as, well, I'm not punching somebody in the face, I'm not yelling, cussing someone out. Maybe that's happening. But here is yet another fine tuning, bringing an attitude of play. And it's a great reminder that it really is about, as cliche as it sounds, the journey. If you believe that you are an eternal being having a physical experience, or a spiritual being having a physical experience in this human body, then the unfolding is eternal as well. It's like there's a never ending. So why not enjoy each moment of the unfolding, bringing that quality of attention and intention to enjoy. So let's come into the practice instead of struggling or forcing or must doing, relaxing into being. Let's take a moment to assess what's here. What are we bringing into the practice in the physical body? As you're sitting still, become aware of different parts of your body right now, sensing what's calling your attention that might be asking for more nurturing or kindness. Becoming aware of your physical state. Notice what you feel in the quality of the breath as it moves through you. Becoming aware of your energetic state. Pay attention to how your heart feels at this moment. Is anything asking for your attention? Observe any patterns of thinking moving through your mind. What is the energy of your mind right now? So acknowledging your mental and emotional state, invite the breath in a little deeper, into your nose and out through your lips a few times. Can you bring that sense of enjoying the unfolding in the simple process of the breath coming in and releasing? And then you might join your palms together at your heart center, a gesture of union, connecting with all these dimensions or layers of your being, and a gesture of gratitude as you connect with something you appreciate right now. Then define for yourself what your intention is for this practice. Is there a feeling, tone, or quality that you are inviting into your experience? As a means of trusting the mysterious unfolding of life, not clinging to a particular restricting outcome. To whom might you offer up your efforts today? Maybe choose someone or a community or cause that you care about to dedicate your practice to today. And together, let's join our voices to create resonance as we share practice, chanting Om 3 times and pausing at the end of each, honoring that silence to digest the sound. So inhale a little slower. Bow in towards your heart center, tuning into your inner guidance and honoring your body's wisdom as you choose variations of postures, movements, and practices with love. Start to deepen your breath, and if you can, with your lips closed. Let's start to use the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama, or victorious breathing technique, to regulate our nervous systems into a feeling of calm, balance, as well as warming up the body and steadying the mind on a very gentle sound that you create by softly narrowing or gently constricting the back of your throat. So listen to a few cycles of breath here in stillness. Lengthening the inhale as slowly as the exhale, creating a very soft whispering sound. Let's begin to move to that sound on your next in-breath, tilting your chin up towards the sky. Then dropping left ear towards left shoulder, chin towards your sternum. Exhaling, right ear towards right shoulder, chin towards the sky. And then keep going a couple more rounds of circling your head very slowly. You can even go even slower if that's more comfortable. And then go in the opposite direction a few more times. Invite the muscles on your face to relax as you're doing these head rolls. Relax your eyes and between them. Relax your tongue and your jaw. We're going to be focusing quite a bit on loosening up all around the spine, though we had a request specifically to open up and relax the area of the lower and mid back. But we're going to start from the top for now. So as you're sitting tall, bring the left hand to the right side of your head. And without forcing, just use the natural weight of the arm to encourage your left shoulder to drop, your left ear to drop towards your left shoulder. As you press your two sitting bones down, draw in the navel and gently lift it up. So you're not rounding the lower back, but you're lengthening it. And you can keep the right arm resting on the ground, or you can crawl the right fingertips on the floor beside your right leg. Keep the left arm resting on your skull as you start to turn your head to look downward beneath your left armpit. Bringing the stretch along the back right side of your neck and pausing there as you breathe, listening to your breath. What would it feel like to even relax your scalp? Keep using the weight of your left arm to tilt the head as you start to turn your head in the opposite direction, looking upwards towards the sky. Relaxing your eyebrows and your forehead. Bringing that stretch towards the right side of your throat. Soften even behind your ears. And then as you release the left arm, gently lift the top of your head. Before we switch sides, let's circle out the shoulders. So inhale, roll your shoulders forward and up. Exhale, peel them behind you and drop them down. A couple more, inhale, forward and up. Exhale, releasing. One more time. Now, sitting up tall, bring the right side or the right arm onto the left side of your head and just gently tilt your right ear down towards your right shoulder. Listening to your breath. You can keep the left arm resting where it is or plant the fingertips on the ground beside your left leg. Keep relaxing the muscles surrounding your eyes and even behind your eyeballs. Keep using the weight of your right arm to tilt your head as you slowly turn your head to look down beneath your right armpit. Bringing the stretch along the left back side of your neck. And then, still using the weight of your right arm, begin to turn your head to look upwards towards the sky. Stretching along the left side of your throat. Listen to the flow of your breathing. Finishing this breath, release your arm and lift the crown of your head up. And now let's circle the shoulders. Inhale them behind you and up. Exhale them forward and down. Keep going, 2 more cycles of breath. Now, if you're sitting cross-legged, we're going to sit a little longer, so I invite you to switch the cross of your legs. Even out the stretch in your hips. And now plant your palms on your lap and start to lift the spine a little longer, but keep pressing the shoulders down. Sway your torso to the left, breathe in and lean forward. Exhale to the right and lean back. So continue to circle your spine and feel free to change it up. Directions or the size of the circles. Sense the feeling of shifting your weight throughout the bottom of your pelvis. And I invite you to bring an attitude of play with this movement. Notice if anything else wants to come along for the ride. Maybe the skull wants to drop lazily. Maybe the arms want to reach. Experimenting different actions and feeling the sensational response. Another 5 or so breaths. Feel the parts of your spine, lower, middle, upper, that most want to move. And the parts that feel maybe more resistant to motion. Just expanding your awareness. Finish the breath you're on. And let's come down onto our hands and knees. Shifting into child's pose. Bring the inner edges of your feet together to touch. And either bring your knees together or separate them as wide as you feel comfortable with. Drop your pelvis all the way back to your heels and actively stretch your arms forward, resting your forehead on the ground. Now, see that your hands are as wide apart as your shoulders, maybe even slightly wider. And spread your fingers wide too. Let your index fingers point straight ahead, not towards each other. And as you rest your head down, open up across your shoulders and shoulder blades by keeping your hands still while spinning the outer sides of your upper arms, which are your triceps, towards the ground. Bringing your shoulders into protraction, slide your shoulder blades further down your back ribs while lengthening the crown of your head further forward, inviting spaciousness throughout your cervical or spine or neck. Now keep this reach and these actions of opening across the shoulders and neck. Then separate your feet, hips distance apart. So now your shins are parallel to each other. As you breathe in, rock forward into tabletop and glide the chest through your arms, rolling the shoulders back into cow pose. Look up. As you exhale, contract your belly, dropping your head to round into child's pose. Sit back into your heels. Again, inhale, rock forward through tabletop. Then gently coil your chest up, taking your time to use the full length of the in-breath. Cow pose. Exhale, draw in the belly, sink your hips, bowing into child's pose. With your own breath pace, try 3 more cycles of breath like that. A longer range of cat-cow, inviting a slower pace of breath. Let the breath initiate the movement. Now, at your own pace of breathing, finish another cycle of this. Then on an inhalation, glide forward again into cow pose, but tuck your toes. And exhale into downward facing dog. Lift your hips high and back. And now we've created a longer range. Inhale, lower your knees. Forward through the chest, cow pose again. Exhale, lift your hips, pull the thighs back, downward facing dog. Keep going, at least 3 more cycles of breath. Inhale, knees down, coil the chest, look up. Exhale, knees up, pull the hips back, downward facing. Twice more. When you lift your hips, feel the contraction of your belly. Use your belly strength to lift the pelvis and then press the tops of your thighs back. This time when you arrive in downward dog, dance your downward dog. Any way your body is asking to be moved. Maybe you pedal out your feet, maybe you swivel the hips left and right, maybe shaking the head or raising a leg and then switching. About 6 breaths or so. You might even move the muscles in your face, like stretching your mouth, your eyes. Find space again across your shoulders and along your neck. Rotate your outer upper arms down and lift the shoulder blades away from the neck. Drop your head freely. And then start to walk up to the front of your mat, standing forward fold. Bend your knees so much that you can easily unwind the spine. Tilt your weight forward and hold on to opposite elbows with your hands. Begin to sway your spine side to side. Use as much momentum that feels good to loosen up the back. And if you're feeling any tightness in the back, bend your knees even more and keep tilting your weight forward. Drop the head, relax the neck. Switch the cross of your arms. Maybe shake out the head if you're not already doing it. How's the breath here? Now let the arms fall too and then start to shimmy out the shoulders. Let the head go. Keep tilting your weight forward. Keep bending your knees a lot. And as you breathe in, start to roll the spine slowly upright, like you're stacking from the lower spine to the mid spine, and then all the way up to the crown of your head. Raise your arms overhead. Let your palms meet at the top. And then exhale, sway to the right, bend your knees, and side bend all the way down to your outer right leg. Like a Ferris wheel, inhale through center up the left side slowly, side bending as you rise. And let's switch it up. Exhale down the left side. Bend the knees. Drape the hands across the feet. Inhale up the right side. Let's switch it up. Exhale, bend the elbows like a cactus shape. Roll the shoulders behind you. Lift your chest, but pull in the lower belly. Inhale, raise the arms straight up. Exhale, forward fold, tilting your weight forward. Either press into your shins or blocks or the floor. Inhale, lengthen your chest through your arms, Ardha Uttanasana. Set your left knee to the ground behind you. Come into a kneeling lunge. You might opt to place your hands on blocks here if that allows you to relax the shoulders more easily, adjusting the height of your hands as needed. Now inhale in your kneeling lunge. Let your pelvis sink as you're looking up. And then exhale, walk your hands over to the inside of your right foot. Slide your right foot to the right, maybe another 3 to 5 inches, coming into lizard lunge. Start to flex your right foot, so you're curling the toes towards the shin. Keep it flexed. And then drop the right thigh open just enough where you're leaning on the outer edge of your right foot, but you're not rolling onto the outer ankle. Keep relaxing the shoulders down. Gently scissor your right outer hip back, and then draw your chest forward. Whether you keep your hands on blocks, lower them on the ground, or come down onto your forearms with or without blocks. See what's comfortable. You might walk the left knee a little further back if you would like to try bending it, and back stroking the right arm to catch hold of your left foot if it's reachable. Otherwise, you can keep both hands forward. If you have your foot, you can gently bring it towards your glutes, slowly opening up into your left quadricep, front muscle of the thigh, and rolling the right shoulder back. Find space in your neck. It's easy for that left shoulder to creep up and shrug towards the ear. Draw the left shoulder blade down your back ribs. And let's stay for about 5 more breaths. Now, if you have hold of your left foot, go ahead and gently release it. Replace your hands either on blocks or the floor on the inner side of your right foot. Set your right foot flat on the ground. We're still in this wide lizard lunge. But now, curl up your right toes, still flexing it, and begin to straighten your right leg to whatever degree is comfortable by plugging your right thigh bone back, deeper into the hip socket, while in contrast, stretching your torso forward, lengthening the front and back of your neck as we start to hinge from the hips. Now, just bowing to the extent where, keep going, I'm just gonna adjust the music, where you're not rounding your spine. You're able to keep the throat open so the passageway for your breath is free. Shoulder blades are relaxed down on your back ribs, not close to your ears. As you're flexing your right foot, press the instep of the foot forward. You're not turning out your right leg at the thigh, at the hip. And let's stay for about 3 more deep breaths here in this wide version of half split. A little engagement of the belly towards the spine offers lower back ease and support. And with your hands on your blocks of the floor, rebend your right knee. Step back into downward facing dog. This time, let your body be still there for 3 breaths. Drop the head, rotate the triceps down, lift your hips high and back. When you're ready, walk up to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Press your blocks, your legs or the floor. Inhale, lengthen forward, half forward fold. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms forward, rising all the way up. Pull your shoulders back as you gaze up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Inhale, sweep your arms forward again, lifting your chest. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Plant the fingertips down, step your right knee behind you into a kneeling lunge. Pause here for a moment, hands on blocks or the floor. Feel your hips easing up. And step your left foot to the left another 3 to 5 inches, placing both hands on the inside of your left leg. Hands on blocks to the ground for lizard lunge. Flex your left foot by curling the toes up towards your shin while you lay open your left thigh and just lean the outer edge of your left foot on the ground without sickling the foot and collapsing into the outer ankle. Gently tack your left outer hip back as you draw your heart forward. It might be comfortable to place your hands on the ground or your forearms on the ground, or not. Listen to your body. And if it's available, you might scoot the right knee back so that as you bend it, your weight is resting above the knee on your thigh. Reaching the left arm back to catch hold of the right foot and gently bring it towards you while you rotate your left shoulder open. Maybe you're not holding the foot, maybe you're keeping both hands in front of you. Find the variation of the posture that invites easefulness and openness in your body. Listen to the breath flow. About 5 more slow breaths here. Sending both of your shoulder blades, especially the right shoulder blade, down your back, away from your neck. If you have hold of your right foot, gently release the leg. Replace your hands both on blocks to the floor inside of your front leg. And set your left foot flat on the ground, but stay in lizard lunge. Reflex the left foot and begin to straighten the left leg by plugging the left thigh bone back deeper into your hip socket, while in contrast, you reach your chest forward, elongating your spine while you bow from your hips, breath by breath. Slightly engage your lower belly towards your spine here, supporting and lengthening your lower back. Find an open space at your throat and throughout all the sides of your neck. Wide version of Ardha Hanumanasana. Let's stay for about 5 more slow breaths. As you're flexing your left foot, prevent turning out the left leg by pressing the big toe mound of your left foot further forward and slightly engaging the front muscle of your left thigh, your quadricep. Slowly begin to lift your head and torso, rebend the left knee, and then please make your way into downward facing dog, pausing for 3 breaths there. Observing the sensations in your body now. on down to your hands and knees. And with your wrists right under your shoulders, have your knees about 2 inches behind your hips as we prepare for a spinal twist called thread the needle. Now you can opt to keep both knees on the floor, or if you would like to bring your right leg into abduction, helping to stretch the inner right thigh, you can step your right foot out to the right so the sole is flat on the floor and the inner arch of the foot aligns with your left knee. But as you come into the posture, if you find that this version is too cumbersome, you could always put the right knee back down. So press the floor away with your left hand and inhale, reach the right arm towards the sky. Exhale, slide the right arm underneath your left bent elbow with the right palm up and lower the right side of your skull all the way down. Now, if it doesn't comfortably meet the ground, use any of your props as a pillow to rest your head on. We're going to be here for about 10 breaths, and make sure that how you're positioning your body, you can relax in stillness with. Feel out the height of your 2 hips and try to balance them in height so you're not twisting along your lower back, your pelvis, but instead you're gently rotating your rib cage and twisting at your waistline. The shoulders relax away from your neck. Let's invite more breath across your upper back, into the backs of your lungs and your mid-back too, into the area of your kidneys at your lowest back ribs. And we're at about 5 more deep breaths here. When you're ready, slowly lift back to your hands and knees, all fours, and pause a moment in child's pose, maybe resting your forehead on your block or pillow and resting your arms down by your legs. As you're pausing, still breathing consciously, notice how your body feels. Now begin to lift yourself back to hands and knees and try to set up similarly as you did on the first side if it's available to you. If you step the right foot out to the right, step the left foot out to the left so the sole is flat on the floor and the inner arch of the foot is in line with your right knee. Press down with your right hand and inhale, raise your left arm. Exhale as you slide it underneath your right bent elbow with your left palm face up and lower the left side of your head on the ground or your prop. Level out the height of your hips, inviting the twist at your waistline, not your lower back. And soften the shoulders away from your neck. And imagine the breath expanding into the back wall of your rib cage. Feel the softening effect of the exhales. Breathing slowly here for about 5 more cycles. And then gently slide back into child's pose once again for a few breaths, just to observe the effects of that posture. Place your hands on the ground alongside your knees, and very slowly breathe in and roll your spine slowly upright. Rising up to sit so that you can bring the legs in front of you. Please place your 2 blocks near the back side of your mat and come on down to your back. Bending your knees, bring the arms down by your sides, really close to you, and have your heels where you could almost touch them with your fingertips, but not quite that close. As you separate your feet, your hips distance apart and parallel to each other. Start with one of your blocks, lift your hips, and slide the block wide across your sacrum underneath the flat part of your lower back. Bring the arms really close to your side ribs and rotate the shoulders back so the palms are facing up. Press the backs of your shoulders into the ground and tilt your chin slightly back away from your chest, opening your throat. Now, as you keep your feet still, gently imagine you're sliding the heels back, so don't visibly move your feet, but isometrically drag the heels back. And at the same time, imagine your tailbone is stretching actively towards the space between your knees. Keep your thighs parallel to each other. And as you do these 2 actions, rotate your inner thighs slightly towards the ground. And this creates a broadening of your lower back, while your tailbone stretching forward creates a lengthening of your lower back. So keep doing those 2 things. And now choose to stay on one block or take the second block and stack it wide across the first block. And then continue to isometrically drag the heels back towards you. Lengthen your tailbone towards the space between your knees. And rotate your inner thighs towards the ground while tilting your chin back and grounding the backs of your shoulders with palms face up. Invite your inhalation to fill up your lungs, both left and right walls of your rib cage fully. Sense the length of the out breath matching it, feeling the belly soften towards the spine. Continue to lengthen in and out breaths evenly, just like that, for about 8 more breaths here in supported bridge pose or Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. And now, if you have 2 blocks under your sacrum, start by removing the first or 1 block. So you're incrementally lowering your pelvis. Pause and breathe. And then remove the last block. Lower your pelvis to the ground. Separate your feet on the floor, wider apart than your hips distance, and let your knees drop in towards each other to touch. Rest your hands on your frontal hip bones and imagine breathing into the area beneath your palms. Separate your knees and set your feet up on the ground about hips width apart. Let's rotate the right thigh out or externally from the hip and cross your right ankle over your left thigh for thread the needle, the other thread the needle. As you flex your right foot to stabilize your right knee, start by pressing your right palm against your inner right thigh to gently splay open the right thigh while you root down through the back of your left hip. So as you're inviting your right knee to point towards the right wall, choose to keep the left foot on the floor or begin to lift it and thread your right hand between your thighs, so that with both hands you catch your left thigh or your left shin and continue to splay open your right thigh. You can nudge the inner right thigh with your right forearm or elbow while you bring the left leg slowly closer to your chest, relaxing your shoulders on the ground and your head on the floor or on a pillow. If your right calf is maybe 5 inches or closer to your chest, you might cradle the sole of your right foot and your right knee between the crooks of your elbows. Keep flexing your right foot, and from here, straighten your left leg forward on the ground, entering supine single pigeon pose. Remember, you want your right knee to point towards the right wall, not towards your chest. And you're using the external rotation at your right hip to do that. Let's stay for about 5 more breaths in whatever version of hip opening you chose. Bend the left knee and wrap the right leg over the left like eagle pose. Slide your pelvis another 3 to 5 inches towards the right edge of your mat. Open your right arm wide on the floor and ground that shoulder as you lift your feet and begin to drop your knees to your left side. Maybe gazing past your right shoulder, making sure it doesn't lift off the ground. You could also catch your legs with a pillow underneath the left leg. If your lower back is wanting more release here, place your left hand on your right outer hip, and as you exhale, gently press your right outer hip towards the front edge of your mat. Couple last deep breaths here in the supine spinal twist. Gently roll onto your back and bring your pelvis towards the midline of your mat. Step your feet on the ground, hips distance apart. And now turn out your left thigh at the hip, flexing your left foot as you cross the ankle over your right thigh. Keep your right foot on the floor as you press your left palm into your inner left thigh, close to the hip. Splaying open the left thigh so your left knee is pointing towards your left wall. Opt to stay here or thread your left hand between your thighs, lifting your right foot off the ground. Catch the back of your right thigh or the front of your right shin with both hands. Bringing your right leg closer to your chest, continue to splay open your left thigh. Maybe nudging it with your left arm. Notice the quality of your breath right now. How can you bring an attitude of play into this practice? If your left calf is 5 inches or less close to your chest, you might opt for supine single pigeon pose, where you cradle the sole of your left foot and your left knee between the crooks of your elbows. Keep flexing your left foot. And then straighten the right leg forward on the ground. Keep relaxing your head and shoulders down. Let's stay for about 5 more deep breaths. If you are in supine single pigeon, think about drawing your left outer hip forward towards the front edge of your mat. You might even press it with your left thumb. Now let's bend the right knee, set the right foot on the ground, and wrap your left leg around the right leg. Slide your pelvis 3 to 5 inches towards the left edge of your mat and slide your left arm wide on the floor, keeping that shoulder down. You might gaze past it. Lift your feet, then slowly drop your knees to your right side, maybe catching the outer leg with a pillow if needed. And if your lower back needs more release here, place your right hand on your left outer hip, and as you breathe out, gently press the left outer hip forward. After this exhalation, roll onto your back, bring your pelvis towards the midline of the mat. Then splay your bent knees apart, entering happy baby pose, where you thread your arms between your thighs and take hold of your outer shins or feet with your hands. Parallel your feet to each other as you draw your bent knees towards the ground outside your shoulders. Keep your head, shoulders, and tailbone on the ground, and either stay in happy baby or straddle your legs straight apart, where you either clasp your big toes with your peace fingers or rest your arms on your inner thighs. 2 more breaths here. Gather your outer thighs with your hands and bend your knees together into your chest. Lift your head and shoulders perhaps as you hug yourself. A big thank you for this practice. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply. Hold the breath in for a few seconds. Maybe squeeze in a little tighter and sip in a little more air before you take your time exhaling through the mouth and splaying your arms and legs onto the ground. Finding a comfortable final resting pose in Shavasana. With eyes closed, breath natural, let your awareness sink deeper within. As you rest here a little longer, let your body remain still, eyes closed, scanning your awareness throughout your physical being. What, if anything, feels different right now since the start of this practice? Begin to rub your thumbs across your fingertips. Notice those new sensations. Little by little, exploring gentle movement throughout your body. Slowly and gently, begin to turn over onto your right side, resting your head, maybe on your right arm. Witness the flow of your natural breath here. Feel your energy. As you're ready, press your palms into the earth and slowly lift your body upright. Taking your time to find a comfortable position to sit in for 5 minutes of meditation. Allow your pelvis to feel rooted into the surface below. As your spine feels tall and alert, relax your whole body. Notice if you'd like to place your hands in a mudra, offering a particular feeling tone. Maybe setting the palms to stack face up on the center of your lap with thumb tips touching, a more neutralizing feeling. Or bringing the thumb and first finger to touch with the palms face up and Gyan Mudra. A more sensing an elevated state of consciousness. Close your eyes or steady a soft gaze on one spot. Let's begin. Just like an attitude of play, give yourself permission to relax into focusing by resting your awareness on either the natural breath, particular sensation in the body, maybe a sound that you can hear. Let yourself rest in a feeling of freedom here, unbound by thoughts. Sense your ability to allow the stream of well-being to flow to you from your inner being or source. Not by force, but by allowing and relaxing into it. Notice what you feel now mentally and emotionally. Maybe join your palms in prayer at your heart, offering gratitude for anything you appreciate right now. And redefine for yourself your intention for this practice. Remember to whom or what you dedicated this practice. And as we close, chanting the vibration of Om 3 times, sense how you can continue to relax into well-being, feeling the source within and around you. Inhale deeply. Bow in, recognizing the light within you. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.